Hey everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. Shyam Sankar pops up in the media today in a few places, and we get his nuggets of wisdom as usual and more insights from Palantir. So starting with the Washington Post opinion piece, it was focused on Israel and drawing comparisons between the US for their wartime preparedness, where the article was written alongside a retired colonel and reservist in the Israel's Defense Intelligence Agency. So they comment a lot about Israel's current experience against Hamas after the October terrorist attack. So they point out how technical the reservists actually are, coming from different backgrounds like software engineers, data scientists, as well as data analysts, and they later speak on their unique, valuable contributions. But when trying to talk about the US, they note how it should learn from this model and get more commercial innovators into uniform to get this kind of diversity and skill set. And with modern war increasingly being fought technologically, there are 3 examples of value it also can bring up, like engineering capabilities all throughout the military, so from high ranks down to the front lines, as well as senior military leaders getting that opportunity actually to be surrounded by these highly technological minds. And then 3, it's good not only for the military to learn from the private sector, but also to bounce back and have the private sector learn about the US military's needs and capabilities to better serve them, and of course maybe the business aspect. And back to those specific IDF examples to show how valuable it is for the technical skill set, they had a financial industry experienced worker who was able to comb through financial data for Hamas and then connect the dots there and figure out what those insights are, as well as a data scientist in advertising before, able to work with social media data, and then also an academic who was also using AI algorithms to help tie data together and help track down hostages. Now, compound this with a military structure that has a loop of recruitment, and the possibilities do sound endless there. And then from here, they really keep harping on the US to figure out how they can incorporate some of this model into their own, and really wants them to be proactive and not wait for the next war. Of course, this would help Palantir's business, but really does also align with the security of the country as well. And when thinking about Russia and China, they point out in their opinion that the US is lagging in this, where they're trying to tie together industry with the military. So not only defense companies, but especially tech companies too in the US, we know the more that authoritarian persuasion of running a country like those two allows you to have more control over these corporations, and you're basically voluntold to help the country. While in the United States, it's not so straightforward, especially when you're hand over fist making money, just serving the consumer there with defense as an afterthought. But the US is trying to find a balance here. But they end on an optimistic note too, that the DoD has a great pool of recruits ready to make this jump and hopefully improve the US military's application of commercial talent. And then we've got a new podcast interview with Shyam Sankar posted on the This Week in Startups YouTube channel. It's an hour long and it's great, honestly, from my own opinion. For my own personal taste, I do enjoy Shyam Sankar speaking more so than Karp when it comes to the actual application of Palantir and their experiences, and it's really firsthand with product development here, which is his background. I mean, with Sankar's in-depth knowledge hands-on, it makes sense, but we really cover a lot of the big current events of Palantir 2 and of course the world. So I don't want to take the thunder from here, so just quickly they touch on Silicon Valley and Palantir's journey through and out of the valley to where they are now operating outside of the norm of the industry, but also their beginnings around 9/11, anti-terror, also with Gotham's development, and really their first true product to take them off, which of course was government facing. But moving further through Palantir's history, how they've also experienced the change of the defense industry the past 20 years, and now artificial intelligence where it's all the rave right now. So talking about the war, which is fought now through technology and drones, maybe less soldiers and tying robots with the battlefield here, they really cover some cool topics that we don't hear traditionally also from interviews with Palantir people. We get Shyam Sankar's comparison to Tesla's approach to AI for self-driving, iteration, and continue to figure it out over time, and you keep tackling small use cases as they add up here. Then they focus on Putin and the real threat he is right now, the geopolitical stability and the dominance of the West, and really compounds on the fact that the United States military infrastructure and policy around the world with Lend-Lease, which they are trying to push for in Ukraine, and drawing the comparisons to the consequences after World War II, so a wide array of topics here. And they also touch on the future and his thoughts there, the future of warfare, defense, and even the capital markets surrounding that, which could possibly save the direction of the US's strength in the field. So please check it out when you have a chance there. My quick few sentences doesn't do justice to the hour-long interview, but let me know your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next video.